Hey folks, Liv here once again. Welcome back to another superhero review. We're going to enjoy my review of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, just wearing my just kind of wearing my YouTube shirt here. You got my ally on it, yeah. Right, anyway, yeah, wearing my YouTube shirt. I like it too. So just kind of getting holes right here a little bit. I don't know why somewhere. I know bought these shirts off of Amazon, I believe. So anyway, sorry. Anyway, whatever new guys, remember it's Live Up McNally 983 with the Mass Profile Pictures, this channel. Yeah. Now you can watch videos on my other channel, but don't subscribe to that channel. Stay sub to this one, okay? Yes. If you want to see me do more videos, more content on here, or different kind of videos, or more movie reviews, stay on this channel, okay? And if you want, you feel free to share my channel. I do appreciate it. Remember, if you want to, also remember to look at my community posts. If you click the bell, there's a little bell you can click. It's probably down here in the video somewhere. You hit the subscribe button. There's a bell. Get all personalized. That means you will know when I upload my next video, or if I think it also probably tells you about my community posts about because I do community posts now on this YouTube channel, still on my other channel, but I'm doing it on this channel as well, where I'm gonna say like stay tuned folks for the next review or whatever, so you know which movie I'm gonna review next, so you guys can look forward to it. Even if it take me a couple while to do it, I'll still do it. That'll still be the next review. But anyway, what I've been doing, guys, is a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. I've been doing what I call, hope y'all can see me well. Yeah, see me well and hear me. And what I've been doing is a superhero marathon, guys. I've been doing what I call the 2020 superhero reviews. Uh, these are superhero movies that have been coming out around these 2020 decades that we're in now. Uh, 2020 to 2025. Yeah, I don't know if we'll make it 2029 by then. But if not, that's alright. But I'm starting with the year 2020. I read three movies already. That was Birds of Prey, Bloodshot, and Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Now, this film came out in August. Now, this is a DC animated movie, but it's not part of the DC uh, animated original movie universe like the other, like with Justice League Flashpoint. This movie is included, which is disappointing. I think it should be involved with those. But I can see why. It's kind of its own thing. It's like, but we'll get into it more. And of course, that is the 2020 superhero film. Well, I would say it's more of an adult anime superhero film. It is rated R, and that is a master of an assassin, a vengeful father. He's an assassin character, kind of like a villain of Batman, I think, in Green Arrow as well. But here he's in this movie, he's like an anti-hero. But that is Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, the movie. I really enjoy this movie. I love the character of Deathstroke. I always found him interesting. You know, the character's name is Slade Wilson. He's an assassin. I can read more about him here in a second, but from what I see the characters in the media, I've seen him in Arrow season 2, where he's the villain in that. Batman Arkham Origins. Uh, he's one of the. That's when like Batman is starting out, and Black Mask, Roman Sionis sends out some assassins after him for like a $1 billion bounty on his head. And Deathstroke is one of the guys that get him. You go to fight him. Deathstroke is one of those assassins that goes after Batman. You fight him in Batman Arkham Origins, and also he's in Son of Batman as well, and Teen Titans Shooter's Contract. Yeah, but this movie was really good. I enjoyed it. Deathstroke is an underrated character. I just love his costume. He's a badass character. He's not like Deadpool. He's not very jokey at all. He's very serious. And this film is rated R. Yes, you can see it there. Rated R. Not a movie for kids. This movie is pretty bloody. So, yeah. But the character of Deathstroke. He's a character who was created by DC Comics. Slade Wilson is a former U.S. Army operative who gains enhanced physical and mental abilities from experimental super soldier serum and becomes a mercenary Deathstroke. While considered the greatest and deadliest assassin in the DC universe, he serves as the archenemy of Dick Grayson, Robin, and the Teen Titans as well, and Batman, Green Arrow, and the Justice League. Deathstroke's vendetta against the Titans began when he swore vengeance for the death of his eldest son, Grant, his other two children, Jericho and Rose, who you do have in here in this movie, by the way. We're going to join the Titans to oppose him. Like an orange mask that covers his missing of right eye, serving as Deathstroke's visual motive. His abilities include enhanced intelligence. He's got superhuman strength. It's like he basically was a super soldier for an assassin. They explain it in this movie as well. He's got healing as well. Expert assassin. He was 16 years old when he enlisted in the United States Army, having lied about his age. And Adeline is his wife in the comics. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and read everything about the character, but because we'll be here all day, and I don't want to do that on it. Okay. But in other media, let's see. Yeah, and you have actor Manuel Bennett, who is Deathstroke in season two, and in the TV show Titans, which I'm not honestly a fan of that costume, but he appears in the 10th season in Smallville. Yeah, but like I said, he's mostly in Batman. You also take him on in Batman Arkham Knight. After Arkham Knight, who is spoiler alert, going to be Jason Todd, who later becomes Red Hood, starts working with the Scarecrow to take Batman down. You have to fight him on with the Batmobile when Deathstroke's in the tank. Yeah, if you have a PlayStation 4, you probably played Arkham Knight. You know what I'm talking about. But Deathstroke's a very interesting character. He's a very complicated, conflicted character. I'm not saying he's all evil. He doesn't murder women and children, but he will kill somebody. I'm not saying he's an angel now. He will kill you. He won't hesitate to shoot or put a bullet in you or stab you. Um, and if it's the right cause for a right cause or the right price, he'll do it. Um, but he is a mercenary though. But I would say he's a mercenary with a code, certain codes. So he's not a complete psychopath. Anyway, let's get into the movie production. This There was a series announced on May 9th, 2019. Deathstroke Knights and Dragons on the CW. It's planned to be a short form series on CW, but I guess that didn't happen. From what I heard, it consists of 12 episodes. It was just one season by J.M. Demuts and directed by Song Hyun Ji. It was released in late October. The film version story was released on August 4th. This film was released on August 4th. So I guess it didn't really happen. Um, but for the voice cast of the movie, Michael Chelsky's as Slade Wilson. That's right. Now, if you don't know who that is, if you've seen the Fantastic Four movie from 2005 2007, he played Ben Grimm in the thing. I'm surprised. And of course, he was in the TV show. Was he in a TV show called Shield? Was it called Shield or Heroes? He was in Soldier. Oh, that was with the Kurt Russell. Okay. He was in Eagle, I think I remember. But I remember, like I said, and Gotham, he played Captain Barnes, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, in Gotham, starting I think in season two, he played Captain Nathaniel Barnes, who later becomes like the judge or something like that. Yeah, the executioner, a villain a little later in season three. Yeah, and of course he did voice Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four 2005 video game based on the movie. Let's say he was in Gotham. Oh, Stuart Little had an animated series, Godzilla the series. He did a voice for that. Miami Vice, he was an episode of that. Sasha Alexander as Eldia, Addie, uh, plays wife. Sasha Alexander, I remember her in the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. She was in Dawson's Creek. I remember her also in NCIS, but she was only I think in season one and season two because her character died in that show. Got killed off in that show. Spoiler alert. With Mark Harmon. And like I said, Yes Man with Jim Carrey playing Bradley Cooper's fiance in that movie. Griffin Below as Joseph Wilson Jericho. Asia Bishop as young Joseph. Castro Jury as General Sorrell. Let's see, he was in Two of a Kind, Just Between Friends, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace. Heard that was not a sequel. Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico. Gilbert Hunt as Bronx Tiger. I think Bronx Tiger was also in Arrow, played by Michael J. White. Yep, I'm right. Michael J. White played the characters in Hero. You know, Michael J. White has played superhero before he was played Spawn, of course. This movie's definitely better than Spawn. This is what Spawn should have been. Chris Jacks Alex as Jackal. Faye McHean as Have a Queen, aka Jade. And Hetty Kosh as Lee Shiva. Cole Simone as William Wintergreen. Okay, I recognize that actor, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he was in some of the James Bond movies, like playing Charles Robertson. He was in Tomorrow Never Dies, It Wasn't Enough, Die Another Day, working with Pierce Bronson in the Pierce Bronson James Bond movies. Except not in GoldenEye. And I also think he was in the TV show Arrow as well, playing Oliver's stepdad. Yeah. He was in Alien vs. Predator. He was also in Punisher Warzone. He was good in that, even though I didn't care for the movie. Yeah. Thought he was good in it, but good actor though. Like I said, I believe yeah, but he was only 14 episodes of Arrow. But I do remember him in that as well. Majo, he's like he's an associate with Slade Wilson. Maneo Jonah as Secretary of State. She was in Teenage Mutant Ninja. Oh, she was Kyra in that film. Yeah, shitty film. I hate that movie. Anyway, the film premiered on January 6, 2020. Intentionally, the series was planned on a 12-episode CW seed, but after the first episode aired, these plans were altered, and the series was supposed to be a direct-to-video animated film titled Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, the movie. So that's why it's not a DC animated movie, because they were making it, wanted to make a series out of it, which they shouldn't have done. They should just focus on doing that. But it did get released on Blu-ray and DVD, August 4th. Critics praised its action sequences and thematic depth, though some lacked subtlety and had more dull life, which I disagree with. I don't think it did. The animation voice acting were generally well received, but the film overall was seen as missing balance and emotional weight. Some reviewers found it cliche ridden and underwhelming. I don't get how they did, but that's just me. I don't know what they're talking about mortal dialogue. I understand the dialogue. And again, I don't think the film is missing balance of anything. Yeah, but teaches them. But the film was also directed by Sterling Hayne, written by J.M. Matz. I'm sorry I can't say his name right. But he wrote this movie, Superman Red Sun, Constantine, City of Demons, Justice League Dark, Batman Bad Blood, Batman vs. Robin. DC showcase films like Death and abstract from television like Batman Brave the Bold. Ben 10, Justice League Unlimited. Based on Deathstroke, created by Mark Wolfman and George Perez, who created the character. Produced by Sam Richter, who produced like The Karate Guard, Ben 10, Wonder Woman 2009, Green Lantern, Superman Battle Public Enemies, Justice League Crest and Furious, and some Tom and Jerry cartoons, movies, Tom and Jerry movies, and Scooby Doo animated movies as well, and some other DC animated films as well. Sarah Squito, I can't say her name right, I'm sorry. She worked on Superman, Lois, Riverdale, Gotham Knights, Doom Patrol, Titans, Batwoman, Death, Flat Lightning, Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, some of the Arrowverse TV shows she worked on, I guess produced. Music is by Kevin Ripple, who credits include Twisted Metal, New Legends, Nancy Drew, some Nancy Drew stuff. And for films, he was a music programmer on Sky High in 2005, Silent Night, Constantine Said Demons, the movie. Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Green Lantern Before My Power, Justice League Society. This movie, Superman Man Tomorrow, Justice League Society World War II, and Justice League Crisis of India Part 1. He did some music for. First comes up Lotto Productions, Blue Ribbon Content, DC Entertainment, Warner Brothers Animation. It's a distributed by Warner Brothers Animation. The film was released on direct to video, on DVD and Blu-ray on August 4th, straight to video August 4th, 2020. It's 87 minutes long, about 1 hour and 27 minutes long. So it's not that long of a movie. Yeah. So anyway, before I get to the plot synopsis, there will be spoilers in this review. Like I said, this isn't for kids. Like I said, Deathstroke, he's an assassin. Well, a mercenary, if you will. Whatever. Same thing. This movie is rated R for strong bloody violence throughout, some language and brief. It does have some nudity in it a little bit too, but it is pretty bloody. The movie does not hold back on the violence. And again, because Deathstroke, I was saying this movie is more. Sometimes he can come off as an anti-hero as well, I would say, and a villain. But I wouldn't say he's that good of a guy. But like I said, he does have some honor though. You know. But like I said, he's a complicated character. He's not like Deadpool. He's not jokey. And yes, he does have these swords. Yeah, he's a badass character, I think. He's definitely an underrated character. I do wish he got live action. I know Justice League, the guy that played Flash Thompson in Spider Man 2002, he played him at the end credits of Justice League from 2017. I do wish that we would have seen Deathstroke in a Batman movie. That would have been cool. Maybe if Ben Affleck would come back as Batman someday, I doubt it would happen, but if he did, I would definitely want Deathstroke as a villain because he deserves a chance at live action. And then a live action movie, that'd be cool as well. I guess we didn't get a sequel to this because the film was not that well received for some people, which is a shame. Yeah, this definitely was an awesome movie in my opinion. But Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. So anyway, there's gonna be spoilers in this review. So if you've never seen the movie, turn the video off right now. All right, I'm sure playing the plot synopsis. Okay. The plot of the movie, the story films, it follows Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, who's who after who gains intense abilities after a military experiment, and he becomes a mercenary known as Deathstroke. The story explores his relationship with his family, his wife Ellen, and his son Joseph. And he kind of what Deathstroke does, he works as the assassin, mercenary Deathstroke, and he has two lives basically, double lives. Once where he's an assassin, a mercenary, killing bad guys, taking on bad guys, doing jobs for money, being a family man. He's living double life. But that double life comes down to him when you have basically the Hive, led by this character Jackal, who wants to get Deathstroke involved. Uh, Something really bad happens, for Deathstroke and his family. He becomes estranged from his family, from his children, Joseph and Rose. For one of the consequences of his violent past. So he faces enemies like Hive and Jackal. But Jackal has a surprise, as a lady, named the Hive Queen. And they kidnap Joseph, so Deathstroke has to put on the mask, become a mercenary once again, and take on the Hive and save his children and stop stop Hive from trying to start World War III. Basically, they're trying to kill a lot of people, and so Deathstroke, along with the wife Eldon, they have to save their children, and they have to save the day, save the world, basically. Well, save the day, and that's the plot for you. Yeah, sure, I didn't miss anything. But he has to fight to save his loved ones, and that's the plot for you. Yeah. Oh, okay. And at the end of the video, read some quotes. Again, if you've never seen this film, please turn the review off. I do not want to spoil it for you again. There will be spoilers in this review. Also, please read the description box below. Anytime before you watch my videos, it'll let you know when there's spoilers in their videos as well. Yeah. But anyway, for Deathstroke, Knights and Dragon, let's get into it. So the film opens up with some nice animation. Um, yeah, I'll praise the animation. But anyway, it opens up with Deathstroke. You see him in the water like he's been injured real bad, and him telling the story of the Knights and Dragons, which I'll maybe say a little later, but something he would read to his son. Basically, Slade Wilson he's been in the U.S. military since he was like 16. He meets a woman named Adeline or Addie, as he called her Addie. They fall in love. They eventually get married, but you know, you see him calling his wife, calling Adeline, calling his son Joseph. Joseph wants him to read the Knights and Dragons story. He's like, all right, son, I gotta go. I gotta go to work. But you find out that like I said, he is Deathstroke, the assassin, the mercenary. But his wife Addie doesn't know this. You know, we do get a little back and forth with that. Basically, he met a woman named Lillian, and you see him do this with her, and eventually they spoiler alert, she had a child by the way, but Slade just doesn't ends his relationship with her, leaves her. But anyway, he's like in this other country, and after calling it, the more Slade's past, you find out. Well, a little later I'll get to that, but first you see Deathstroke, after calling his wife and son, telling them goodnight, hangs up the phone, gets on his Deathstroke costume, goes out to take out this president of this country or whatever the man is, I forget. Anyway, he shoots one guy in the head, which I thought was cool. Comes up, he like sliding on this rope, like pow pow, shoots these guys, kicks one guy in the face, crushes his skull, shoots one guy in the head, jumps down. This guy's like shooting at him. Deathstroke just jumps on him and shoots him in the head, and Deathstroke shoots these other guys down. When he gets into the building, though, I thought it was pretty cool with the sword trying to sneak around. He's like chops one guy up, like literally. I don't mean just stabs him, just chops him up, and chops the other guy up, and he's got blood all over his costume. And these other guys in the military, these officers see Deathstroke, and Deathstroke just looks at him, and he's gonna bleed. They're like, and they run away. And Deathstroke breaks into the president's office or whatever, this office of this guy from this country, threatens to kill him. And he's like this: I'm glad you hired me to do this job or whatever. Now, are you gonna pay me? And it looks like he might not first, but then Deathstroke, he's got like all these five guys on him, but with his pistol or with his no, it's not a pistol. I forget what you call it. 9 millimeter. He shoots all these five guys. Dad's like, "Is that a problem?" He's like, "No." And he pays Deathstroke. Meanwhile, Addie gets a visit from a guy named Jackal, who's the leader of the Hive. Tells her how weak she is. He beats her up. He even shocks her nearly to death. And then he kidnaps Joseph. And he's like, "You don't know what your husband's really doing. He's just a businessman." And again, she doesn't know he's Deathstroke, but he tells her that but Slade comes home. She's upset with him. She's like, you didn't tell me you were Deathstroke. You lied to me. Then you go get your ass that you say her son's like, then after that we'll talk. Just go. And for someone's Deathstroke, the costume on, or the suit on, Deathstroke's like, give me my son. He's like, hey, Deathstroke, we're alike. Why don't you just join us? We want you to be part of our team. You will be, one of our best mercenaries. You're one of the best in the world. We can have you. He's like, and the answer is no. You murder women and children, innocent people. I don't do that. I do it for a cause, for the right cause. I have a code, Yeah, he's like, oh, you're just a killer. Yeah, deep down you might pretend to be the good guy, killing the bad guys, but deep down you're just a murderer like me. And Deathstroke gets Bronze Eagle, and this Bronze Eagle, not Bronze Eagle, Bronze Tiger, and this girl with this lady with the sword, who, spoiler alert, you find out is Jackal's daughter, and they take on Deathstroke in a fight. Deathstroke stabs Bronze Eagle in the arm right here, and then his daughter, he stabs like right in the chest, and she's like trying to ask him for help, and then Deathstroke just throws her. She dies. And then he, sees his son out, he's got an assassin, whatever the man on, he's like, we'll cut his throats, if you don't join me. And Deathstroke's able to, jump there real fast, get Jackal away, Jackal escapes. Uh, Joseph, he throws him because, I said, take him to the hospital real quick. He puts these grenades in there, he blows up the place, and it kills the Jackal. So we think. Remember spoilers, so as we think. And his wife gets mad at him, you know, after this, and because of the fact that Joseph's in the hospital, so she asks him to leave. So he has to do the wishes. Deathstroke leaves, just goes about his life. Not goes about his life, but he does contact Joseph. You see him like growing up as a kid. He can't really talk because what happened to he can't even speak a word anymore. But he also, spoiler alert, because he's related to Deathstroke, Slade Wilson. Like you find out, well, Slade Wilson, he had these experiments done on him. First, it didn't do nothing to him. He was just a normal guy. But then, when the experiments took off, you know, it gave him his super strength. And when Deathstroke gets shot, after his fight, with that president, he was taking these bullets out. He could take it. He has to take these bullets out of his body to be naked to do it. He's talking to his friend William, who tells him, you need to be done with assassin. You've been doing this for like 8 years. You need to just quit doing it. It's like Deathstroke is just too stubborn not to do it. Keeps food on the table, I guess, for him and his family. But I'm sorry, I'm going everywhere with my reviews. I do this sometimes. I'm sorry. But then the movie, after she tells him to leave, we get to 10 years later. I'm like, wow, 10 years. Slade, of course, is still Deathstroke. Continues operating. Uh, he saves these children that are being, I guess you would say, sold into slavery, or it could be prostitution. It's like little girls or whatever. That could be being sold in prostitution. He kills these fuckers. Wilson comes in, shoots him down. You know, scares one guy, and he chases him down. As he does shoot Deathstroke, but Deathstroke, it won't kill him because Deathstroke, with his healing abilities, doesn't affect him. He shoots these guys down. He deals with this 7 foot tall woman, or 6 foot tall, but she's really tall anyway. Nearly beats Deathstroke to a pulp. Yeah, he does get beaten up, but Deathstroke eventually puts a grenade in her mouth, jumps over her, and she blows up, dies. Then he saves the girl, like, takes his mask off. He's like, it's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. And he's like watching this, police take them to a shelter or something like that. Just watches. Slade goes home just to get some rest for a night. Says he's all bloodied up, and he takes his suit off. He's wanted to rest. Slade gets a call from this woman named the High Queen. He's like, apparently he's been taking out over these 10 years. He's been taking out members of the High, taking them out one by one. Who's Neeler, and she has Joseph for hostage because he has psychic abilities. Like you know, he has abilities, and he's like, he's got your DNA. He reunites him with Edeline. You know, he sees Addie for at least 10 years. It's been a long time, but you should have been there. He needed you as a father. I want to help. He's like, no, I'll go save him. You stay out of it. It was like, and she's like, okay, go do it. Save a kid. Share a kiss. And it's like, you know, they share a kiss. Then they part ways. Slade ends up hunting for the queen. Leads him to this criminal killer. Well, hunting for this queen. He killed. He goes in this bathroom, tortures this guy, or shoots him. This guy he shoots in the chin. Eventually, it leads him to Bronze Tiger, who is not working for Hive anymore, but he's freelancing. And he kills innocent people, women shooting included. And there's a scene where they have a fight scene. You know, Bronze Tiger has mechanic arms, these like robotic arms. You know, and him and Deathstroke prepare to fight. First of all, he's able to kill Deathstroke, but Deathstroke puts a pretty good fight back up. Pretty cool fight. But in that battle, Tiger does reveal that he tells him Jack was alive. He's like, "What? I killed him." No, you should have made sure he was dead, Slade. You know, and he's located at this place called the Kruglan Islands. His friend Wintergreen takes Slade there. He's like, "We be careful, Slade." He gets attacked by Lady Shiva. You think he's gonna fight her, but he's like, he's down. She got the sword in his neck. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm surrendering." So Deathstroke says. Before we get to that though, he jumps into the water. You know, wearing scuba gear, of course, because he's not a fish. But these like three or four guys try to attack him. He's able to keep one away. One gets eaten by a shark. There's one guy trying to stab him or trying to cut off his air supply of his scuba gear. But Deathstroke grabs able to do this move, stabs him, kicks him in the water, and the shark grabs him. Yeah, and Deathstroke swims away. And then this when he goes not only confronts Lady Shiva, and then he surrenders. And the High Queen, she wants him to live. She wants him alive. And he's like, look, it's like, you probably won't. High Queen says, "You're not gonna leave here alive. You won't." And he's like, "I don't want to fight with you. I just want my son. Just give me my son. We'll have no problems." Then the Queen of she trained Joseph to use his abilities as a weapon known as Palm Jericho. Uh, they take him to Joseph. He's like, "Son, can you hear me?" He's like, "Dad, Dad, please get me out of here." Speaking through his mind. Because again, because of his getting cut in the throat. But it gives him his psychic abilities. Like he can create electricity with his mind or whatever. But so he's like, "Back up, son." And he's able to like punch Lady Shiva out. Even he's got a mask off, they try to escape because he blows up the door or whatever. But you also find out that, well, wait a minute, before I get to it, his son, apparently Joseph has joined them. He's like, "I lied to you, father." He's like, when agreed, when agreed not coming. Yeah. So Joseph betrays him, becoming known as Jericho. And they shoot him down. They shoot Slade. They think he's dead, but apparently he's alive. Eddie saves him. And the queen is actually Slade's daughter, Rose. Uh, Now you find out that Rose was actually she was born after he left Lillian. She actually, when she was a little girl, Rose tries to run out in front of a car. Her mother, saves her, but she dies in this hit and run. She gets killed, and it has spent her years doing, fighting and running and stealing things and fighting for money. But like Deathstroke, she has these abilities as well, but she uses steal money. Eventually, the Jackal, leader of the Hive, you know, raised her, trains her to be an assassin, makes her the queen to become his successor. Yeah. And basically, Joseph and Rose, they have the same, calling themselves now the Hive Queen and uh, Jericho. They have abilities like Slade as well. Different abilities, but they do have abilities because of the because he is their father and their DNA is matched with his, of course. But he refuses to die. Eddie fishes him out, and she tells him, that when she shared kiss with him, with her lips, it was actually a tracking device, which is probably a good thing. At least she saved his life, because the sharks probably would have got him, all that bleeding and stuff. Because sharks are attracted to blood. So he does tell her, Lillian about the affair to Addie. She's upset at him for it, but they're only focused on saving Joseph right now, or saving her son. And Rose informs Jago about Slade's death. He's like, "You done well, my daughter. You've done very well. I really follow you. I didn't abandon you. I saved you and all that stuff." Excuse me. And then she trains Jericho, Joseph a little harder. and he almost gets these people to use his power of mind control and then beat the crap out of each other. Just to get these people with like red demonic eyes and these people beat each other up. She stops them though. Rose does. Then Slade, Eddie, and Wintergreen, they discovered the Hive's plan to use Jericho's abilities. They want to control the world, or they could, with that mind control, they could probably kill billions of people. And their first plan is to attack the President of the United States, who was on Air Force One. With Jericho's mind control, they're controlling planes. It's wrecking everywhere. It's probably killing a lot of people. So Jericho goes, does the test across the United States, which does lure the president out, which they do plan to attack him. He's on Air Force One. They plan to attack him, and I do like the line in there saying, like, Deathstroke says something to Eddie, like, "I married you, I love you," and all that stuff. It says something like, "I've seen you naked." She's like, "Fuck you." Thought that was funny. They have like these green wristbands or whatever, which can keep them on the plane. You know, it's like a magnet. And Slade's men tries to, not Slade's men, Jackal's men try to attack him, but it doesn't work as they fight back, of course. Eddie almost gets, she gets close to getting killed, but she survives. She's from that, you know, has like this missile. They try to kill the president, but she blows up and, Jackal's plane, but it happens. Then Jackal gets betrayed by Rose by Rose and Joseph, you know, saying that they're going to take over. They're not Lady Shiva, but eventually Jackal has a backup plan here. He knew they were going to do that, so he's able to use it against them. It's designed to, rebel against Joseph's psychic powers. Slade and eventually, they let them come in. Slade and Natty come in. He's like, we're expected. And he's like, look, don't kill my children. Like told you, you're an assassin, you're a mercenary, you're just a bad man like I am. We're just alike, we're both killers. He's like, they didn't do anything to you. I do like there's a conversation between, I forgot to mention earlier, between Addie and she said, like, you're a knight. You're not a knight. You're an assassin. That's what you think you are. Joseph didn't need you to be a knight. He needs you to be a father. And he's like, dude, don't blame the kids of my actions. Blame it on me. He's like, they're going to suffer and he's about to kill them. Instead, they have a fight. But his suit is more strong. He's got, like, electric powers and pretty much hard for Deathstroke to fight. I mean, he's kind of kicking crap at Deathstroke. Eddie is is not doing so well against getting fight with Shiva, but Shiva's like a master assassin. Very good fighter. She gives her a good punch, but Shiva stabs her, like, in the shoulder. Like, and she's about to kill her, but instead, Rose uses a sword and she cuts her in the throat, in the back of the throat with it, killing her. Yeah. Deathstroke places, one of the grenades on the side. Like that when it opens up the plane, bomb on the side of the plane. They end up blowing out of it. Deathstroke, he hits Deathstroke enough to knock his mask off. But Deathstroke puts a grenade right on him, right on his suit, blowing them up. But as we find out, Deathstroke doesn't die, but we think he dies. And Jack was also doing it though because he wants revenge because, like I said, spoiler, that woman that he stabbed while trying to save his son's Joseph by fighting that woman, Bronze Tiger. In the beginning of the film, that was his daughter, so he's out for revenge to kill their children. It's all about to get revenge on Deathstroke as well. Back home, the Jericho just starts to remember about his father, maybe about his actions too. Eventually, reads that Knights and Dragons story. Just remember it. They do welcome Rose into the Wilson family. Then you find out that, Slade is reading the Knights and Dragons, like narration talking about the Knights and Dragons, Knights and saving people. I'm gonna read it later. But his body washes up on silver. Apparently he's washed up and he's still alive. He's just all banged up and stuff. That's what we saw in the beginning. And then that's the end of Deathstroke Knights and Dragons. Yeah. Alright, let me read some quotes from the movie, y'all, just really quick. from the film. If you were looking for a helpless victim, you came to the wrong house. You're at a practice, Adeline. From what I've heard, you were something to behold before marriage and motherhood made you soft. Leader of an elite squad with the Green Berets called Team 7, you trained Wesley Wilson, helped make him the killing machine that he is today. Killing machine? He's a businessman. Well, there's so much you don't know. Who the hell are you? The Jackal. What is this? The head of President Millennium? No, the look of surprise on your face. Very similar to how you live right now. I don't understand if Millennium hired you to assassinate me, then. I'm a mercenary, not an idiot. Your president is a fascist. Your ground president was a fascist. Grounded people into the dirt, under his rule. Cinemego became a seasonal poverty, hunger, and disease, while he just grew richer and fatter. Do you better, General Strauss, or this will be you? And oh yes, there's a little matter of my fee, which I'm delighted. Then he fused on his soldiers, the general soldiers, about his president, but sorry. It's my second time watching this movie. It says, which I'm delighted to pay. I thought that was funny. It's like, who did this? The Jackal. Who the hell is the Jackal? You know who is he? I haven't lied to you since what you said. I will never lie to you again, but it's all been nothing all lies but lies. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop. The Jackal told me everything. The army told me the experiment was a failure. That the drug didn't work. That's why they discharged you, but it's just took a little time to turn you into, what the hell, what do you call you? Deathstroke? I'm a businessman. That's what I've always believed. Slade Wilson, a good and decent man who loved his wife and son, who did anything for his family. But you're a goddamn mercenary, selling death to the highest bidder. You hid it from me all these years. Why? I'll bring Joseph back, and I'll bring back the Jago's carcass back with me. He's like, well, don't. And she says, like, well, don't fail. He's like, I never fell. You know. The older I get, the more I envy your ability to heal. The army certainly got what they paid for, and more. That's my ride. Don't bother. Where he's headed, there's no coming back. Oh shit. He does oh shit. I thought that was funny when he shoots like a missile from the plane at them. Let's cut the bullshit, shall we? Where's my boy? Where's Joseph? Yes, let's cut the bullshit. Oh, I knew once the Jackal took over. Jackal, he's alive. You should have made sure he was dead. The man has serious hate for you. Look at you, hero of the Constitutional Revolution. We know how it goes. Southern occasions take the capital. A few years ago, the North takes it. Been gone for years. I work for both sides. You're very generous. And children starve, innocents die. Still singing the same song, huh, Wilson? The mercenary with a conscience. The rest of us were beneath you. I didn't come here to debate, Tiger. I just want to fight. I came here for information. So, sir, how the hell did you get hands on an archive like this? Somebody owed me a favor, a very big one. Apparently, there's every chance they know you're coming. Counting on it. You'll never change. Having second thoughts, Wintergreen? On the contrary, since MI6, tired me, only fun I ever had is when you invite me on one of these little joints. I'd be too old enough. I'll probably do too old now. But I'm not ready for the nursing home just yet. There's no one joint. Joseph's life is at stake. Also, what kind of godfather would I be if I wasn't gonna bring him home? My son. He's fine, just a bargaining chip. The bargaining anyway doesn't give. I don't work with Hive. So you said that last time I asked, and I respect that. But unfortunately, my superiors don't. They don't think your skills will be great value to us. You're terrorists. Equal opportunity murderers. Selling our service to the highest bidder. Just like you, only difference is your small time. Hive thinks globally. How many innocent people, women, children have to die in your hands? Honestly, I've lost count, but we're all murderers under the skin, Wilson. It's just a matter of scale. Mortality is illusion that fools wear like a cloak, a comforting cloak. But you're no fool. You are you. A monster, perhaps not a fool. A monster, yes, I kill for a living, but only if the cause is right. There are lines I won't cross. I don't know if the widows and children of those soldiers murdered in sin. Mabel will agree. We're the same, can't you see that? Men like us pretend to have hearts and souls, but underneath, that's only darkness. Alright, that's enough quotes. Anyway, get my final opinion on this movie. So, Deathstroke, nice and dragon. This movie, let me take the slipcover off. Yeah, this is the Blu-ray. Yeah, yeah. This one's the DVD, and that's the Blu-ray of the film. I know it's confusing. You'll see it if you ever get this movie on DVD and Blu-ray. It'll tell you. But you do have one special features like Deathstroke, One Man, Death Machine feature, which I have not watched. But I love this movie. This movie was awesome. I love that it was already. I mean, yeah, for a character like Deathstroke making a movie about him, I mean, he is an anti-hero, a mercenary, and he does kill. But like I said, there's lines he won't cross, like killing women or children. He does have a code. He does have a conscience. And he can be a villain sometimes. I think he can also be an anti. In this movie, I would say he's more of an anti-hero. But like I say, he's no saint. He does kill. He will shoot you, stab you, or put a grenade on you, as he does in this movie. He doesn't hesitate to kill the bad guys. Yeah. When he goes to fight, he's going about. I wish we had a sequel to this, but anyway, what I liked about the film, I liked the story. I liked how Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, that he is a knight, he is a warrior. Deathstroke is, and that's what I like about it. I like that he leads a double life, but then that leads to trouble with his family. You get it, he loves his family very much, and he's just trying to make a living. He's an assassin. He's just very good at it. That's why he does it, because he's good at it. Even though lying does have consequences, and he faces those consequences of those actions of lying. But he does care about his family. He goes away with them for 10 years, possibly just to protect them as well. But when the Hive comes back, he's got to stop. The Hive are more insane. The Hive are, this crazy cult. Well, you can call them a cult or mercenaries, whatever organization that is willing to kill thousands, billions of people because they think that's just their way of doing things, or in their mind, bringing some salvation to the world. I guess is what they think. But Deathstroke's not like that at all. I do like the fact that his son becomes a villain. We see his children, they have his DNA. The story's very interesting. It's only 87 minutes long. I thought the dialogue was good, especially when he reads the book of Knights and Dragons to his son. A lot of good dialogue in there that some made me laugh. And I didn't think the dialogue was muddled. I don't know what they're talking about or balanced. I thought the film was perfectly balanced with the story. Yeah, it does kind of go in the beginning from here to there a little bit. Reminds me of Batman Begins when it goes with flashbacks a little bit, which I didn't mind. I guess they wanted to show you how he got those abilities when the army used him as a super soldier serum and stuff. I don't think it's cliche written, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, there's probably been movies that have similar plots, but this movie had a good plot. And what I loved about it, I did love the story. I thought the story was good. I liked the animation. The voice cast I thought was good. Michael Chelsky's did a great job voicing Deathstroke, Sarge Alexander. I think they stole the show as Adeline as well. They were good, and the people that voiced the characters, never heard some of these actors, but they were good. You know, the voice cast was good. The animation was, the action is awesome. That's one thing I will say. Can't tell me you don't like the actions. Yeah, it did get praised for the action sequences. Yeah, because number one, you get the violence, you get the blood and gore. I thought the story was good. You know, I thought the story was good. I enjoyed the story. Again, you want to say the model dialogue and something about the story not being that interesting? Whatever they were saying, let's see. Or misbalance. You need to go watch Birds of Prey then if you're saying that. Yeah, go watch Birds of Prey. Yeah, at least this film didn't have agenda. Unlike Bloodshot, this film is rated R. This film doesn't hold back. Yeah, you see him stabbing some guys with a knife, shooting at people. When you see a lot of blood spills and him bloodied up and stuff. You see blood. Yeah. Like I said, this movie's not for show. You see Deathstroke at the beginning killing. Yeah, he kills all right, and brutally too. Jackal I thought was a good villain. I do wish he had a little more screen time in the movie though. Yeah, or I would like to see more of the Bronze Eagle character. But like, I think the director, Sung Jin, I can't say the name right, but did a good job. I thought the writing was good. Music score, not that memorable. It was pretty good when it's there. And the film is only 87 minutes long. It's 1 hour and 27 minutes. It goes by at a good pace. It's really interesting to watch. The more you're watching, I get more intrigued as I'm watching it to see where the story's going. And I do find Deathstroke is an interesting character. Maybe that's why people are not much into, don't know much about the Deathstroke character. Only if you've seen him in the movies or video games or the TV show era. Maybe there's not much people know about him. That could be why, but that's disappointing because I do think we do get to know about him. That he in this movie, like I say, he's a mercenary with a code. But there is a good man in there. He's just very good at killing. Very good at it, being a mercenary. But he does it for a right cause. And he does love his children. He does love his wife. And he's a good man. He's just a complicated man who is complicated. Very one-dimensional kind of character, I would say, with Deathstroke, because he can both be bad and good. I wouldn't say full on villain. Oh, and he was in the Injustice game, the first game as well. Yeah, but yeah, Deathstroke's not some villain. I like it. His guns. I like the suit. The swords are real cool. I always love that suit. The suit's really cool. His masks are awesome too. And just seeing Deathstroke in action, I mean, that's good enough for me. And I thought the film had a good story. Was it the greatest story ever? No. I do think you could have done more with Lady Shiva and Bronze Eagle and Bronze Tiger and have more screen time for the Jackal. I get it. They're trying to get the mission that he's dead, but I'm like, we didn't need to know that. You know. And I don't mind them adding his children here and him trying to manipulate his children. I understand his motivation. And Jackal was a good villain as well, I thought. Yeah, and the voice cast was really good. It's a very entertaining movie. It's got a good story to it. The action's good. The voice cast does a great job, especially Michael, like I said, Michael Chowskis and Sasha Alexander. They both do great in this film, and so some of the other actors as well. And the animation is very good. I like the animation. Feels like an actual movie that could have been released in theaters. Should have been, in my opinion. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it for what it was, and yeah, I loved it. Just those problems I had, like give some more screen time for some villains, like give Jack a little bit more to do. You know, maybe they could have saved Rose for a sequel. I don't think you really need her. Not that I'm complaining. Rose was a good character, but I don't think I think that was a little too much to add into the story. Could have taken that out. You know, okay, yeah, well, he can have an affair, alright, but maybe save that for another movie. Just keep the focus story on the son and stuff, and maybe a bit more with the villain. So they can change the. It's still a good story, but I do think they could have changed some things a bit with it. But despite that, I'm not complaining. It's still an entertaining movie. It's just fun to see like Deathstroke, an underrated DC character, have his own anime movie. It's just a shame that I do think it deserved a sequel. They could have expanded more on this. This film was released about 2020, 5 years, 5 years ago now. Well, this year it'll be six, I think. Yeah, this year should be six. But anyway, this was a real good movie. I loved it. So my rating for Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, I'm the movie. I'm gonna give this film. My rating for this film is a thumbs up and 4 to 5 stars. Because I do have some of those issues with it, but despite that, I still love this movie. It's still better than Birds of Prey and Bloodshot. A heck of a lot better. A very entertaining movie. And you know what? At least they had the balls to make it rated R. Yes, when you make a movie about Deathstroke, you gotta have it rated R. You can't make a movie like this PG-13. I'm sorry. That just doesn't work. Alright, anyway, the next review. I did review Superman Man tomorrow. I will be sharing the review of that on Super Reviews. But if you check my Superman reviews, it's on there. And my DC reviews, I'll share on there as well. But that came in August too, but like in August 23rd. But August 28th, okay, the next review. Okay, the next one is another X-Men film. This is a spin-off film in the X-Men film series. It is the 13th and final installment overall in the X-Men series. It seemed like a big box office flop. And that is next is The New Mutants. Oh boy, here we go again. Yeah, I heard this one was not very good. I just looked at another film on Wikipedia. It seems like it was a box office flop. I wonder why. Yeah, or another crappy poster. The New Mutants. Yeah, these posters suck. But the New Mutants. Yep. Which is thankfully, I'm hoping. Well, not the. I would say the final installment of X-Men, but no, not really call it final. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine to come out in 2024, which is I'm sure gonna be better than this. But I got this film on Disney Plus. Thank goodness I don't own it. But yeah, the New Mutants, this will be next. So stay tuned probably for another rant coming up. But that'll probably be tomorrow. And then after that, I got one more 2020 review. And that will be the sequel to Wonder Woman from 2017, starring Gal Gadot. That is Wonder Woman 1984. I do remember having, yeah, this movie has issues, right? But I remember hating this movie. But it does have problems. But I don't remember hating it. And then when I start with the year 2021, I will be reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League. Wait a minute, let's say 2021. No, actually, this might not be first. It might be Justice. I'm sorry. Let's see. No, this was no. I'm thinking this might be first because this was March. I'm sorry. That other movie was April. I was thinking about. But from what I remember checking, there was no movie January, February that came out that year. I don't think so. January, February, no. In 2021. I could be wrong though. But tonight I will be checking for the 2021 movies. But I do believe Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is the director's cut of Justice League 2017, Zack Snyder version. When I start 2021, this might be next week. Next weekend, y'all. I had to check my work schedule, but it'll probably be next weekend when I review this. I get off work pretty early, so well, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. Today was a bit early because we didn't have that many trucks because it was a Memorial Day weekend. But anyway, guys, if I don't see any of these videos, just have a good Memorial Day weekend. If you're hanging out with your family for the weekend, camping, whatever the heck is you're doing, just be safe and have a good weekend, guys. And yeah. And again, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This will be the first. This should, I believe, be the first 2021 review. When we get to the year 2021, this should be the first movie. Yeah. And then I think it's just decided World War II and then Black Widow. You know. Yes, we'll be going back to the MCU eventually. But anyway. Yeah. So those are the next reviews come 3 reviews coming up. I will be positive to make sure. So guys, anyway, my rating for Deathstroke Messenger Dragons, the movie, awesome film by the way. My rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me guys in the comments down below, what do you think of the Deathstroke? If you've seen this movie, what do you think of Deathstroke as a character? Do you think he's underrated? Which version of him do you like? Have you seen him in? Have you played the video game Batman Arkham Origins, where you had to fight him as Batman or Batman Arkham Knight? Have you seen him in Arrow season 2? In season 1, of course, but season 2 is where he becomes Deathstroke. Have you seen him in Son of Batman, Teen Titans, and Juice Contract? And so, what do you think of the character in your opinion? And what are some of your favorite DC animated movies? And do you think, what do you think of this movie in your opinion? And do you agree with me that it should have had a sequel, and that it's not as bad as people were saying, or watered down, or whatever they were saying about it? Do you agree with them, or do you disagree? I disagree with them, but that's just me. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this show, Nice and Dragons movie. Again, my rating for the film is 4 to 5 stars, thumbs up. And stay tuned for the next review. Well, maybe the last X-Men movie, but as a whole, not really. And that will be, once again, that will be the New Mutants. Yeah, hopefully no more X-Men movies after this. But the New Mutants will be next, so, and hopefully tomorrow, Wonder Woman 1984. I probably won't be doing a review on Monday. I won't have time. Yeah, that's not just League is like 4 hours long. There's 2 discs. On the way you watch the entire movie. It's like parts of it. So I'm gonna have to start that probably next weekend. If I'm lucky, I'll take it off on Sunday or whatever. Next Sunday. If I get off, I'll probably come home on Saturday and start watching it. Yeah. I don't know when, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my review of the New Mutants. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.